Hi friends, Dr. Melissa here, your friendly neighborhood anti-diet and body shame smashing East Asian medicine doctor and skin expert, here with another episode of Makeup Free Monday. Thanks so much for tuning in today. If this is your first time watching my channel, welcome. And if you've watched before, hello again. I'd love so much if you would subscribe to my channel and also like this video and share with anyone you think might benefit from my holistic approach to skincare and wellness practices. Once again, welcome to another episode of Makeup Free Monday, the show where I give you barefaced facts about skincare and wellness topics. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about another one of my favorite beverages, green tea, and how it can help you with your wellness goals. So go ahead and pour yourself a cup and let's get going.
Wake up, hydrate, don't worry about the makeup. Dr. Melissa's on your side. She's a cool doctor, gonna slay your body shaming ways. You're gonna take care of yourself today. Everybody, love your body. She's my self-care doc. Everybody, love your body. She's my self-care doc.
Green tea. Just saying it feels soothing. I'm not sure about you, but it's one of the beverages that I just love. The custom of drinking green tea in China dates all the way back to the Xia dynasty, which is right about 2700 BCE. However, due to its expense at the time, tea was only available to the very wealthy and, of course, the royals. And it was that way all the way up until the 14th century when it became more accessible. Today, we are so lucky to have tons of great options of green tea available at our local supermarkets or our Asian markets. But let's talk about what green tea actually is and sort of where it came from. So green tea comes from the tea plant, of course. In China, we call it lu cha, and in Latin, it's Camellia sinensis. It's a small flowering shrub that thrives in tropical climates. It also thrives in subtropical climates. Things like high elevation can also add to the flavor of the tea. It's very, very regional. Some of the best teas in the world are grown up in the mountains. And when it's left to its own devices, the tea plant will actually grow into a tea tree. But these days, it's mostly cultivated to a size that's easy to pick those leaves from. Makes it a lot easier. For sure. So the most important process of making tea is how it's processed and dried. Now, every tea is a little bit different, but in order for a tea to be considered a green tea, the tea processor has to move pretty quickly. It needs to be dried and then either roasted, pan-fried, or steamed to prevent oxidation within 24 hours of its harvest. Now, the Chinese style teas tend to be pan-fried, while the Japanese style teas are more often steamed. It's the shorter processing time that gives green tea its fresh flavor and sometimes slightly heftier price tag, especially for those varieties that are hand harvested. There are some popular varieties of green tea out there, but I want to give you a very shortened list of some of my favorites. So the most common tea that you're going to find out there is called sencha tea. It's the most common form of Japanese green tea, and it is also the most consumed variety in Japan. The leaves are prepared by steaming them and then they roll them. So it sort of looks like a tree needle, like a pine needle. Now, if you're looking for the top quality of Japanese tea, you're going to want to go for something called a Gyokuro. I probably butchered that, but it's Gyokuro. Or, of course, matcha. So Gyokuro is shaded for 3 weeks before they pick it, which ends up giving it a sweeter flavor and a little bit less of an astringent quality, where the matcha has the stems and the veins removed from the tea, and then it gets made into a powder. Matcha, of course, is the tea that's used in the Japanese tea ceremonies, which you might be familiar with. Now, on the Chinese side, the Chinese green teas tend to have a little bit more of sort of a toasty flavor, and that's because they dry fry it. So the most common one that you're going to find in China or Chinese style green teas are Dragonwell or Longjing teas. And then the second most common one you're going to find out there is gunpowder green tea. Those Dragonwell tea leaves are pressed rather than rolled, so it allows it to be brewed at a somewhat higher temperature, and that can give sort of that more roasty, toasty flavor that I mentioned earlier. And then the most full-bodied of the green teas in between Japan or China is going to be gunpowder green. They're known for their bold flavor, and they come in all different sizes of pellets. They are rolled into little pellets. Now, of course, there's a ton of other varieties and blends available. Right now, I'm actually drinking a really beautiful blend from one of my favorite local tea companies called Russian River Tea Company. They're up in Healdsburg, and they're absolutely lovely. And this is a jasmine green tea that I just love. Now, what does green tea do for us? In East Asian medicine, we consider lucha an herb in our pharmacopoeia, and its nature is cold, so it's said to help with heat type disorders. In the West, we call that inflammation. Now, beyond that simple explanation, green tea is considered to have 3 major functions in East Asian medicine. Now, the first function is to help dispel dampness in the intestines. So that really helps you to clear out those intestines, helps your guts to work properly. Really, really great stuff. It also, on the same vein of that gastrointestinal help, it helps to harmonize the stomach and direct rebellious chi downwards. So it's good for things like hiccups or burping, but it also helps to relieve diarrhea, and that comes in with that heat clearing aspect. And then its third function is clearing the head, which it helps to prevent and relieve headache. It helps with sinuses. It helps with just moving fluid in the face. Now, in the Western world, they've also done a lot of research on green tea and have found anti-neoplastic or anti-cancer and cytoprotective or cell protective functions in the green tea, which makes it one of those wonderful things for longevity. Hooray. So, of course, when you're drinking green tea, you want to be careful with the caffeinated varieties, especially if you're sensitive to caffeine or if you're taking certain medications which make caffeine hit you a little bit harder. But if that isn't an issue for you, experts say that you can safely consume up to 5 cups of green tea a day, which is a lot. And I definitely don't get there. I'm usually a 2 cup a day or type of person. But it wouldn't be Makeup Free Monday unless I talked about some of the skin benefits of green tea. And there are some skin benefits both when taken internally and when applied topically. Of course, the anti-inflammatory and antioxidant benefits that I've already mentioned, they can help people both who are prone to acne and those who are trying to prevent aging, because inflammation is one of those pro-aging things. So the polyphenols in the plant, which is a really fun chemical in the plant, it can actually help to kill the bacteria P. acneus that causes acne. So it's really great to use. You can use it topically. You can make a little wash out of it. I have a recipe that I like to share with my clients. And if you're interested with that, please shoot me an email and I'd be happy to send that your way. It also has hydrating properties, and the best part is that it helps to balance the skin's pH. So it works as a toner as well. So if you've been in to see me in the office, you may have experienced one of my green tea masks that helps to reduce redness and swelling on the face. So that's all well and good, and it does amazing things, but how do we know we found a good green tea? What should we look for when we're searching for that green tea? Well, 3 things, another 3, everything comes in 3s, right? Heat, light, and oxygen are all going to affect the flavor and the nutrient content of the tea. So you really want to be aware of how your tea is packaged. Now, foil packed and vacuum seal is the very, very best and will have the freshest flavor. But no matter which way it comes to you, once you open the green tea, it's a really good idea to store in a tea tin to maximize shelf life. Of course, I prefer loose leaf tea because it is a more pure form and you don't have to worry about any of those weird ingredients that you're going to find in tea bags. But there are some really amazing quality green tea available in tea bags. So it's really up to your own personal preference. So with that, that's kind of all I have for you today. A little bit of a short episode, but I hope you learned some new things about green tea and will pour yourself a cup very, very soon. So thanks again for tuning in to Makeup Free Monday. I hope that you will join me again next week, where we're going to be talking about cleansers and how to choose the proper cleanser for your skin. Until then, don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, take care of yourself and each other. And don't forget to hydrate, my friends. Be well. Bye-bye.